Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Nintendo GameCube house. I've been feeling a little bit retro recently. I remember owning one of these all the way back when I was a kid, and honestly, I loved it. So I thought that'd be kind of fun to turn one into a house. And for those of you that are feeling a little bit nostalgic like I am, I think that you'll enjoy this build as well. And not only that, it is kind of a fun little house that you can plan in your survival worlds should you find that you have excess concrete around. You could even make it out of wool if you so chose. If you enjoy this video, please do remember to hit that like button as it helps me and the channel out very much. And if you make it all the way to the end, please share the video with a friend. Sharing is caring. But without any further ado, let's get started. So before we begin, here are all of the materials that you are going to be needing. You'll need some purple concrete, light grey concrete, black concrete, stone slab, oak door, red concrete, lime concrete, and some yellow concrete. We'll also need cobblestone wall and some light grey carpet as well. So make sure that you have all of those. Even pause the video if you have to. Make sure that you have gathered all those materials. And then once you do have all of those, we can begin. So I'm going to start off with a row of 9 purple concrete coming up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're then going to go right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're then going to go all the way down to the ground with our purple concrete, like this. And we're going to connect back on ourselves with the purple concrete, like this. I then want you to add a row of purple concrete horizontally across the bottom of the square that we've just made, left to right, and across the top of the square that we've made, left to right. It's actually not a square, it's a rectangle, but you guys get the idea. I then want you to, using your light grey concrete, place a row of light grey concrete that simply sits inside and around the shape that we have created by adding those rows of purple. So we should have something which should look exactly like this. I then want you to cut it up the middle using light grey concrete. I then want you to cut it in half horizontally using light grey concrete like this. And then I want you to take those two sections and I want you to take the middle of the top and I want you to half them in the middle on the left and in the middle on the right, like this. We're going to place stone slabs on the lower half of the large empty spaces at the bottom. And then we're going to come behind and we're going to use either black concrete or grey concrete, and we are going to cover up the gaps that are left from the outside. So what these are, it's basically like where you would put controllers and memory cards and stuff like that. That's what all of those holes are. If you want to turn this into a house rather than a statue, you'll make sure that you have an entrance laid out somewhere along the bottom. If you like, you can even make the entrance fancier, although this changes the shape of the GameCube and I wouldn't recommend it, but you could, if you wanted to, have something like that. That's a complete option for you, but again, it changes the shape of the GameCube, so I'd just have a simple door if it were me. Using purple concrete, we want to extend the sides of the GameCube. So on both the left and the right, we'll have to do this twice, you want to place 10 rows of purple concrete coming backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, coming from the bottom. We're going to extend upwards and forwards, so we're creating a solid wall. You can take the entire back of the GameCube, all of this purple concrete, and you can extend it across to where it would line up to the front of the build. You can then proceed to just simply fill the entire back in. There would be more space for cords and wires and all that fun stuff on the back of the GameCube, but it doesn't really seem necessary to me that we would actually add this to the tutorial, but you could if you wanted to. On the back of the GameCube, however, what I did find would really add to the build is the fact that it had a handle. The GameCube actually had a handle, which is kind of cool. So the best way to do it is this. Along this long row of purple that we have at the top of the GameCube on the back, I want you to move one block inwards from either side, destroy the block coming in, and replace it with black concrete. This is on both sides, like this. We are then going to take the blocks underneath the black concrete on both sides, and we're going to place 2 purple concrete coming outwards from the back of the cube. 1, 2. 1, 2. We then shift those blocks inwards by 1, and then towards us by 1, and then we join them together. And that is the handle. It literally looked exactly like that. And we're just going to reinforce this by adding an additional layer of purple underneath it just to make the handle a bit chunkier. It's quite a chunky handle. You could really carry it around, or yeah, you could really carry it around. So that is what you want to have on the back of your cube. And then when it comes to the sides, we are going to connect the bottom together at the bottom, front to back, and the top together, front to back, like this. And then on both sides, we have to do this to both sides. We want to add a row of purple horizontally at the bottom and the top. And on the left and right, we want to add 2 additional rows of purple. So on the left, 1, 2, this is top to bottom, and then 1, 2, top to bottom. And then when it comes to this empty space that we have here, we start in the bottom left hand corner and you place a black concrete. Right of that a grey. Right of that a black. Right of that a grey. Right of that a black. On top of every black concrete you place a grey. On top of every grey concrete you place a black. Eventually you will end up with this chessboard pattern, this checkers board pattern, this drafts board pattern, however you want to say it, that will look exactly like that, placed directly in the center of the cube. We then want to come all the way over to the opposite side and do the same, so we'll place a horizontal row of purple concrete at the base, horizontal row of purple concrete at the top. We'll add 2 additional rows coming in from both sides, the left and the right. This will leave a small window in the center. The small window in the center, by the way, I haven't explained what that is. It's basically just a vent. It's vents that you have on the side of your GameCube to let air escape so it doesn't overheat. We want the same thing on this side, and we have missed one small detail which we'll add in a second. We want to place in the left corner at the bottom black concrete, right of that grey, black, grey, black. On top of every black we place a grey, on top of every grey we place a black, coming all the way up to the top of the build. Eventually, we will have something which should look exactly like this. However, one thing that I did miss off is underneath the vents, we have a row of purple concrete. Right in the middle, underneath the vent, we place a purple concrete. We extend left and right. Perfect. Same on both sides. There is a weird small lip. I don't know what it is for exactly. Perhaps it's just for grip if you want to move the console around. But that is what has been added onto the sides of our console. We want to come all the way up to the top now. So, back in the good old days, you used to have to insert a disc. You still do have to, but there was literally like a flippy lid on the top of the GameCube, and you had these smaller sort of discs, smaller than a CD, that you would place in there. So I'm going to place, coming from this left black concrete here, on the back of the build, a light grey concrete coming forward. And we're going to place in the front left-hand corner here, a grey concrete. In the front right-hand corner, a grey concrete. I want you to join all of these together using black concrete. So, starting from the light grey, we move front to back using black. We move around the grey concrete, creating a bump. We extend to the right, move around the grey concrete, creating a bump, and then we extend backwards, connecting to the very back top of the cube. We then want to add a layer of purple concrete that simply sits in between the two bumps of the black concrete at the front of the console. We then want to extend the center here. We want to extend the center block 5 rows backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Add a row of grey concrete left and right of the center like this. That's perfect. And then you simply want to take the 3 middle blocks on both sides and extend them towards you. Just like that. And then we're going to fill the middle of this in using some purple concrete, and that will be the console complete. So, without the controller or anything like that, if you just wanted to have the house, then that would be the shell of it. That would be the actual GameCube, the console itself, everything that played the games. You could load that up and all sorts. But you wouldn't be able to play because you don't have a controller. I think the controller adds a little bit of fun to this. Grab the black concrete and come to the right side of the build. I'm going to have a controller coming out of the bottom right side. So, typically speaking, a controller would come out of one of these holes, one of these 4. But it looks a little clunky to me to just have one poking out. So we're just going to have a controller laying to the side, and it is going to look as though it's plugged into the side, although typically speaking, it would come out here. So the wire is going to be made out of black concrete, and it's going to start from underneath this purple lip here. And we're simply just going to place a jagged line of black concrete that simply leads towards the front of the build like that. Very similar to that, you know, like just a few blocks kind of like leading towards the front of the build and slowly curving to the left. Well, what we then want to do is we want to place a purple concrete on the end of that, and we want to extend the purple concrete left by 2 and right by 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to extend these 2 rows forwards by 2, or this row forwards by 2, like 1, 2. And we're going to take the middle row, extend it left 1, right 1, and then down by 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to extend those rows inwards by 1, like this, to give us this shape. So, in the front right corner here, in between the where you would grip the controller and the top bit, we're going to have a yellow concrete. On the left, we're going to have 2 stone slabs built up. On the right side here, we're going to place, coming inwards diagonally from the yellow concrete, a red concrete. And up left diagonally from that, a lime. Right of the red, we're going to place a stone slab. On the left side here, we need some cobblestone wall and some light grey carpet. And coming up left diagonally of the stone slabs, cobblestone wall, light grey carpet on top. And that is a controller. All in all, this is exactly what we should have. And that, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, is a pretty good looking GameCube house. Bloop. I do hope that you guys have enjoyed making this tutorial as much as I enjoyed designing it and making the tutorial. It's always fun to do both. If you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have, please like the video. It really helps me out loads and loads and loads. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, please do hit that like. And let me know if you would like to see anything else like this in the future as well. Like I was thinking about maybe doing like a Game Boy house, or maybe like a Nintendo Switch house, bringing it back to the 21st century, you know. But if you have made it all the way to the end, share the video with a friend. Sharing is caring. And if you would like to make anything else like this, I'm sure that there's a playlist that you guys would like to check out. I might even make one now that's got all of my consoles and stuff. I've made console houses before, PS3, PS4, Xbox, Xbox One, made loads of fun stuff like that. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna fly off now. Good Bye!